Hi, aka Stan.
And he has been hired or asked to make a whole bunch of tables, and I'm gonna be helping him.
Yeah, she's doing the hard part, the sanding, the part I don't like to do.
I don't mind it. So that's what this video is about.
And we hope you enjoy it.
Hub started the whole process by flattening the slabs. Right here he's flattening a maple slab, but this project involves Sequoia slabs, but we didn't get any footage of him flattening the Sequoia. So sorry about that, but here is how he did it. This is an awesome jig with a Super Duty router and a router bit. First he shims the slab so it won't rock. Then he slides the router over the slab, inching along the length of the slab. Then he lowers the router a bit and does it again and again until the surface is flat. Then he flips it over and does the same thing to the other side. He also made the legs for the tables, and here he is cutting the 3-inch flat bar to size. He is using a Diablo metal cutting blade and it works wonderfully. Here he is welding the legs. Since the filming of this video, he has made himself a jig, so making those pieces perpendicular to each other for welding is much easier. My job, or one of my jobs, is sanding, like we mentioned at the beginning. Here I am sanding the slabs, including the live edges with the orbital sander. I used 150 grit and 220 grit. And this wood is pretty soft, so it sands up nice and easy. I really like the vibrant pink color of the Sequoia. There is a lot on this one slab, and the other has pink knots. Once they were all sanded up, then husband put on the legs, but only temporarily, so that the tables could stand nice and level while I poured the epoxy on them. Another one of my jobs was pouring the resin on the tables. I am using Total Boat tabletop epoxy. It is 1-to-1 ratio of resin and hardener. Total Boat has given me a coupon code for all of you out there. If you go to totalboat.com and use the code SIZECORNER, at checkout you'll get 15% off your purchase of any resin. I measured out the resin and then slowly mixed for 3 minutes. You can see some of the canopy we put up in the shop for dust control. The tables are under there, and we have tarps for walls and a tarp to collect drips on the floor. I flipped up the sides just so I can see in there and stuff, and then I'll put the sides down once I have the resin on the tables. So this worked well for dust control, but it was dark inside there, so this wasn't the perfect solution for pouring in the shop. We did end up putting a stand light in there, but it still wasn't enough light. We may end up hanging a light from above when we do this again. I poured the resin on and wiped it all over, coating the edges of the slabs too. Here is the slab with the pink knots. The color settled down more than I would have liked it to, but it still looked really cool. So pretty! So pretty! I really love this resin. It just goes on so easy, and it self-levels, and it's just pretty. Ooh, look at that. Woo! So cool. Just love that. Woo! And that one with the pink knots. Woo! The surface bubbles pop easily with the torch, and I did this 3 times, waiting 15 minutes between each time. It was a little difficult to see the bubbles because of the lighting in there, so I ended up using a flashlight during the last 2 bubble popping torch treatments. It just wasn't the ideal situation. You can see some blue tape on the slab. I used blue tape where there were cracks where the resin would seep out through the edge. But once the resin is built up in that crack, and that area has cured, then I will remove the tape and apply more resin where that tape was. For other areas that the resin may seep through, like where the knots are or where other cracks may be, I used hot glue on the underside, and that makes a really good barrier to keep the resin from seeping out. Once the resin was all set, husband took the legs off and cleaned them with lacquer thinner. Here he is cleaning another set of legs, since we forgot to film, so sorry. But this is his process. Then he paints them with some black spray paint. And while those legs were drying, we cleaned up the underside of the table. I removed the hot glue with a chisel, and this worked really well, and I will do it this way from now on. And remove the resin drips that form along the edges with 80 grit sandpaper. We call them nubbins, and it takes those nubbins right off. Then I put a finish on the underside and I used General Finishes Gel Top Coat. It's applied by wiping it on and then wiping it right off, similar to Old Masters, but I'm saving the Old Masters for my Intarsia. So I'm using this one for the slabs and it makes for a quick protective surface for the underside. I had also put on husband's logo, Hardwood Inspirations, which is his hobby shop name, but I forgot to film it, so sorry again. But I used the laser, and then I totally spaced putting my logo on there. And the last step was putting the legs back on, which husband did lickety-split. And here they are, all completed, and we delivered them to their new home, and the people were very happy with them. Thanks for joining along while we made these tables together, and we didn't even kill each other!
Yeah!
And remember the awesome Total Boat code of Size Corner for 15% off of any purchase of some resin. And if you have any questions, just write it down there in the comment or send me an email.
You can check out my Facebook page, Hardwood Inspirations, where I have lots of photos. And please contact me for free quotes on any custom orders.
So we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, thanks for following along as we made these tables together, and we didn't kill each other!
Yeah! You can check out my Facebook page, Hardwood.
Not done yet.
Oh, I didn't know that.